YouTube, what is up? It's your boy Guy in a Truck. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you go over or down somewhere around there, click that notification bell and hit that subscribe button. You'd be doing me a big justice and I'd appreciate it a lot. Get that algorithm going so that we can make some more quality videos. But in this video, as the title says, it's simply accounts receivables. How does a trucking company invoice his customers and make sure he gets paid for every load he does in a timely manner? In this case, and in my case, I use a factoring company. So how does a trucking company get paid after completing a load using a factoring company? How does that factoring company work? What is the system I use? Is it easy? Is it hard? Is it quick? Do they pay fast? What's the fee? All that good stuff should be in the video. So let's get into it. Alright, in this video I'm going to show how we as the trucking company get paid through our factoring company. And this is a process that I have to go through every time I get the rate confirmation from the broker, and then when I complete the delivery I get a signed bill of lading and or a lump receipt. Any documents that are needed to submit for payment to invoice the customer should be submitted, but it's usually always the rate confirmation, the bill of lading, and so those are the two most important things. So for me, I go to clientlogin.winfactor.com and then use the login. And then these are the accounts receivable. So this is freight factoring. So I instead of waiting 30 days to get paid by a customer, because usually it's like net 30, net 20, some are net 40, net 50, some are even more. Usually you don't want to work with those people, but to check if, like with these guys, to check if a broker, like say I book a load, or say I'm looking to book a load with a broker, and I don't know. So if I'm going to use my factoring company, I have to make sure that they will work with these guys. So let me just find one on here. I'm looking on my phone to get a broker's MC because I just want to show you what that looks like when you, just in case you need this. So I type in the broker's MC 872. This is just a random broker that I found off the load board. Load Smart. So right here it gives their company information, their DOT, and then right here it says days to pay 35, credit score 79, but this is the most important. This, how many days it takes for them to pay, that's pretty average. And then their credit status, when it says buy for this particular factoring company, that means you can work with them. And then with this one, you just click the view button to the right, and then you click to add the customer. So now they're in your database. So when you go to, if you do work with them and you just completed a load, you now have that customer up here so that you can create an invoice. So I'm going to actually create an invoice for Convoy, which is a load that I'm doing right now. I just kind of like to get the invoice entry prepared so that when I deliver, as soon as I get that rate, the bill of lading, the signed bill of lading after delivery, I'm going to want to submit this because that's payment. I want to make sure I get paid, and I want to keep track of my accounts receivables, and I don't like to delay that. So please select a customer. That's a drop down menu, and you can go down and see if Convoy is in here, and Convoy is, so you click Convoy, and then invoice number would be through my TruckLogic's account, which is basically my accounting software for trucking. It keeps track of everything from the loads that I'm on, my invoices. So right down here you have open invoices, and I actually got to change that one right there, the $2,100, because there's some detention added to it. But so you go and look what load that needs to be. You could also go to the dispatch, but for this particular one, I know it's this invoice 10018, and so I'll go back to the invoice number and I'll type that in. That way, it has to correlate. It has to match up, because if I ever need to come back into the system to check and see if the factoring company actually did pay on that load, then I can reference that invoice number in their system along with my system and make sure it was paid. So it's all just matching the numbers, making sure it all matches. Otherwise things get mixed up. But invoice amount, so you just go back to that one, and I believe it's 1,200. Yep. So then you put in here 1,200. Now, another reason I wait until the load is delivered, because sometimes there can be lumper fees or accessorials fees that need to be added to my rate confirmation. So then the broker I will reach out to the broker, and they will have to send me a revised rate confirmation, and then I will put that into my system, in this system, and I'll edit this invoice just right here, edit, and then I'll finalize it, and then I'll put it in here. And then once the factoring company pays me after I invoice them, then I go in here and I go into my trucking software and I hit receive payment. That way my system shows me what things have been paid and what loads have been paid and what loads have not, so it lets me keep track. And so after you put in the invoice amount, the invoice date will automatically populate to the day you are submitting it. This load in particular delivers tomorrow, so I'm going to put the 13th. Ooh, it's Friday the 13th tomorrow. And then this automatically goes out like 60 days. I don't know why. I guess that's kind of average for customers to pay, but this factoring company pays me within a day, so I'm just gonna put due Friday, and then PO load number. So you can usually find that on the invoice, but I don't see it, so that will usually be on there. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. So I'm going to go into my system. So the reference number will usually always be in there. But this one is CHE. So let me just show you. Let's see if I can find it. I got to go to my files. So when I send a rate confirmation, oh man. Right. Okay, so it's not in order at all. Recent. Looks like my system hasn't updated. But let me just show you, like, this one in particular. This was when I was leased onto a company, but So you'll see order number at the top of a rate confirmation, and that would be the reference number. Let's go to another one from another company. Load number, that would be the reference number. It's always the load number for the broker, not for the pickup. So like for TQL, it would be PO number up at the top right. So that's what I mean when I say reference number. Now this is a different deal, so it is CHE, and this is important. So when the factoring company goes to invoice my customer, the broker, they have to usually put the number, because if I were to invoice my customer directly, I'd have to make sure I have that PO load number so that the customer then knows what load you are billing them for. And this is the ship date. This isn't required, but it's good. So today it was, so you would just go back here, summary, you would go to, for some reason it's not doing that. Okay. You would just go in here and check the date it was picked up, but this one in particular is today. This is acting funny. Let me just go to dispatches and then go to, what one are we on? I think it's this one. This thing is acting slow. Let's see if it gives me, oh my goodness. Yeah, so anyways, it's today, but you would just go into the TruckLogics and you would find that load again like you did for the invoice number, and you would look at what date it shipped. Since I'm doing this, I know you know, when the loads have shipped because I'm the one doing it. So ship via Kansas City. Kansas, and it's going to Jackson, Missouri. And then, so that way, now that's done, and I, down here at the bottom left, I click add invoice, and then that'll pop up down below. If you look right here, it'll show up as like pending, or well, like you see two right here. The first one on the top is the one we just added. When you're so if you look over to the right, you'll see a paperclip button and an X mark. The paperclip button you click, and then this is where you add the rate confirmation. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be out. So you click choose file, browse, and then I'm not sure if this is going to have it in my tablet. I'm doing this on my tablet, and I usually submit everything on my phone. Oh yeah, it doesn't even have, it needs to be updated. It needs to like sync. Yeah, it's not even in here. So I'll have to do this from my phone, but you will have this rate confirmation, right? And so then you would click upload file, and then you would see it populate right here, and then you would go and then you go back to invoice entry, and then when you get the bill of lading, when it delivers, you would do the same thing. You click the paperclip button and you would just type in BOL, okay, and then you would choose the file, and wherever you have it saved on your phone or your computer or whatever, then you can upload that, and then hit upload and then go back to invoice. And then once you have the rate confirmation and the bill of lading, it'll show up right by the paperclip that you'll see a small little number saying how many documents you have uploaded, and you can always click on that to check and make sure you have the right documents. And then after the load is delivered, you have this invoice entered in here, then you have the rate confirmation and the bill of lading uploaded. You would then, down right below that load entry, you see submit invoices. So you would then go ahead and submit that invoice. If there's more than one, then you would make sure that these are all highlighted right there with the check mark. Or if you have more than one entry in here, you want to make sure that the one you're submitting is checked and the others are not, if you're not ready to submit the others. But then once you submit that, then down below you'll see here this one. This is a different load than the one we just entered in, because I did this earlier today. But this one is pending. So pending from my factoring company to pay me. I've already entered in the invoice, and I've already added my bill of lading, my rate confirmation, and I have submitted the invoice. So now I'm just waiting to be paid, and that'll be paid tomorrow because I just submitted that today. So this one that we just entered in is for a pickup today that delivers tomorrow. So when I get done doing this, I'll add in the rate confirmation on my phone, and then when I deliver tomorrow, I will then add the signed bill of lading to this paperclip, and I will submit the invoice. Okay, and then also, just to give you a quick idea of what, if you don't know what a factoring company is they essentially help companies. It's not just trucking, it's any business. They essentially help a company maintain cash flow, basically. So in the business world, when you complete a service for a company, you generally have like net 30 accounts with the customer, where the customer has 30 days to pay you for the service you provided that day. So instead of waiting 30 days to receive payment from your customer for a load you did today, or for a service you provided today, you can basically partner up or get set up with a factoring company. And this one particular is Capital Depot, and they charge 2.5% starting out, but they go down the more business you do with them. So they charge 2.5% of the load, so 2.5% of $1,200. So it's, pennies. 10% is $12, so it's like $25 they get out of my $1,200 by paying me within a day instead of waiting 30 days. So the cash flow, it helps with cash flow. Now, if you have a lot of funds put away in your business bank account, then you don't really need a factoring company. But almost everybody, even large companies I know, use factoring companies. So this is a pretty good company. It was referred to me by a local trucking company. He has like 10 to 20 trucks, and this is who he used. So and they lower the rate the more business you do with them, and I just find it, there's not a ton of hidden fees, and it's a pretty simple system. So that's how you add an invoice. Pretty straightforward. I'll do another one, except I'm not going to talk about it because I do have to put in another convoy one for the following day. Let me edit this real quick. Well, sometimes this load had detention, so I'm kind of multitasking right now, but I'm going into this dispatch that I completed today, this load, and I gotta update the rate. Oh. Yes, I want to avoid the invoice. Um, 22, I think it was. Yeah, so I had detention time. The original bill, the invoice was $2,100, but there was quite a bit of detention time from the customer because they took forever. So I'm going into this invoice and making sure I put in my system the correct number to invoice the customer, 2248. You know, because that's $140 that I don't want to miss out on because my time is important. Okay, why is that not populating? Update. Let's see if it updated. It did not. And this is also, so any load I have, you go to dispatch, you click the dispatch, you find the load that that needs to be worked on, like, and then this will show up, and then you'll click on invoice right here, and then this is just, I need to generate an invoice every time I do a load, so I usually do this when I enter in the load information, and then I'll have to go back and edit it like I am now if there's any added fees that I need to make sure I invoice. So it's pretty straightforward. The invoice date today, due on receipt. You don't have to put account number. Reference number is good to do because then that'll just automatically show up. Reference number again is the broker's load number, PO number, reference number, and then right here, this is important, click yes for factoring company, and then their rate is 2.5 indefinitely until that gets changed, and then that's just the pickup and delivery information, and then oh, so that did show up. Why didn't it? Oh yeah, 2248. And then, so that's where you'll put the flat rate. So then you'll go to the rate count and you'll see what I need to invoice the customer with, and then you would just make sure that's right and then generate the invoice for that load, and then that way I can cross-reference when I deliver the load and I submit the information on here, I have the correct information to submit an invoice. Make sure, and so when this all looks good, then you can finalize it, and that'll make it show up in the system in the accounts receivables. And I don't know why that's not reflecting up there. But it should. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is not showing up, but the invoice has it correct, so I guess that's all that matters. So anyways, I gotta add another one in here. So when I send a rate, when I get the rate confirmation from the broker from a load I just booked, I'm just gonna go through this again, except I'm not gonna really talk as much.